Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of November 2nd, 2023. The current character challenge is Khandaq Black Adam, which is a 1-week repeat. The required characters for that are Sinestro, Green Arrow, and Catwoman, who you can all get in the store directly as low as bronze tier. So great for newer players who have a little bit of cash, but maybe not the full roster of characters yet. His passive is the Thunder King, which is Black Adam's basic combo, and special attacks apply electrical damage over time, and if not blocked, drains opponent's power. He's got 1,100 attack, 1,200 health, and was last available on the 5th of January 2023.
Alright, so lots to say about him. Easy part, talk about stats. They're decent stats, they're not the top stats, but they're pretty good. In comparison to last week's Killer Frost, they have the same health, right? But he's got 300 more attack. Yeah. So 1,100 instead of 800. We have a soft spot in our hearts for Black Adam, I think, because not only is he fast with his basic attacks, which we've always liked originally when specials weren't such a big part of it, but a different Black Adam skin, Regime Black Adam, was the most common gold pack card to get. It used to be, and it was the first gold card in our first account. Got him out of a pack.
Yeah.
So despite what the passive says, the damage over time only applies after combo enter, not just a basic combo.
Yeah.
So it's not on the swipe attack, and it's only on the tap attack if you get the combo enter. Damage over time, a really tiny amount. It doesn't seem to have any impact on the fight outcome. So you can tell, I mean, I don't actually know what the numbers are, but you can see that when you're up against, say, a Blackest Night Flash team, and you apply some damage over time with Black Adam, the opponent does not gain very much power or health. Doesn't happen if there's a little bit at a time, but not very quickly, as opposed to, or in comparison to, Arkham Knight Catwoman, or even Arkham Killer Croc, where you can see their power just like getting ready to burst out of them.
Yeah.
So I used to think, well, you know, kind of crummy passive, but the power drain is actually pretty good, as you are probably going to be able to see from the footage that you're watching. All right, so his special 2 has multiple hits, and in theory, he can hit multiple opponents with his special 2, unlike some of the newest high stat challenge characters that can only knock out an opponent with the last hit of a special. However, because the last hit does the most damage, more often than not, for practical purposes, it's the last hit that knocks out the opponent, right? So the problem is, even if you get lucky enough to knock them out with the second hit, there's not enough spacing or pause between the hits so that the tag-in time is enough to dodge for the third hit to miss when the opponent tags in.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at it, I'm paying attention. I think there are 3 hits to a special 2, and the ratio of the damage feels like half of it comes in the last hit, about a third of it comes on the second hit, and about 1/6 of it comes on the first hit. So one place I think where the Injustice Wiki is great. I think one place where the Wiki could improve would be to add that kind of information, but it may be a higher level than most people care about. So well,
also, it's a wiki, right? You could become an editor if you wanted to. You could add that information.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hold on. What was I saying? Oh, about the pauses. Like, most characters are like that, though. A lot of characters have hits that are not spaced enough, so that you lose hits if you knock out somebody. So there's some that whiff, and if they have enough hits, then they'll eventually hit the next guy. So an interesting thing is that even though the listed max damage for Special 2 is more than double his Special 1, in practice, it feels like his Special 1 actually does more than just that much damage. It feels stronger. I don't know if it actually is. I should really pay attention to the numbers. Last time we used him back in January when we started our first round of using the challenge characters as the star on a multiplayer team. He's geared with Quake engine. We're focusing on Special 1. It was an attempt to increase the amount of damage over time you get from his specials, but the unexpected effect had been to boost the special damage enough. And it's unfortunate because when you knock somebody out on the last hit, you're not triggering any damage over time.
Yeah.
which is not awful, but was not what we expected and was sort of the antithesis of what we were hoping to get out of the Quake engine.
Mm-hmm.
So this time around, we're using a Special 2, and it's been a really pleasant surprise. So one funny problem, one unexpected problem is, remember I was saying Black Adam's fast, and he is?
Yeah.
He might be too fast.
Yeah, there's an interesting sort of quirk in how Special 2 works.
Oh, I wasn't even going to talk about that yet. So here's the thing. You can start his next special before the animation for his last special ends. And not just Special 2, but Special 1. And there's some footage here where you might be able to see it. And it sounds like it might be a good thing. But the second special or the third one, if you keep on doing it over and over, eventually doesn't register properly. And it means that the opponent isn't taking damage properly from it. And they have an opening to whack you.
Yeah, so it's like you're starting it before it's fully stopped.
Right.
And it doesn't know what to do.
Right. And so I think what you're going to get at is what you're going to see in the footage of the first ultimate, which is almost over actually. So you might want to rewind a little bit to watch this and pay attention.
Or just take our word for it.
Oh, but it's so good to watch. All right, so in the first fight of this footage, Luchador Bane is the last opponent tagging in as Khandaq Black Adam's last hit of his Special 2 knocks out the previous opponent. And Luchador Bane stuns Black Adam on tag-in. So that means even though the animation isn't entirely finished, you know that the animation for the Special 2 doesn't count as a Special 2. It doesn't protect Black Adam like it does with, some other characters where...
I feel like most characters, when they're still in an animation, are protected from anything happening to them.
Like a good example is Harley Quinn, because it feels like even after the animation is over, there's like a fraction of a second where she's still protected, where she's invulnerable.
It's like invincibility frames.
Right. So... that's one fight. What makes it interesting, though, why this is so weird, in a later fight in the sequence, I think at about this, we might be actually around that right now, or just finishing that fight against Rebirth Raven. He finishes his Special 2 with the last hit knocking out the opponent before she tags in. I think it's Blackest Night Batman. And he is able to tag out before the animation ends and before she steals his power.
Yeah.
That is wild to me. Like that he's literally that fast, or it's just that his animation.
Yeah, there's something weird. Yeah. It's almost like how long the animation lasts is separate from different sort of features, right? Because before his animation ends, you can't like start attacking. Right. You can't start swiping through it. Right. But it seems like there's maybe a period where there's like locked in some way in terms of invulnerability and also like not being able to switch and other things. And it seems like they turn his ability to swipe and attack is still off.
Yes.
But his ability, like all the other actions aren't locked off, like using another special, swapping out. And it seems like the animation finish is when sort of abilities can be applied to him.
Right. So
weird.
This is one of the few times I actually had to go back and watch the footage to see if my first impression was right. That Rebirth Raven tags in with less power than him, but doesn't steal it because he tags out so fast. Yeah. That's wild.
It is.
His biggest problem really is that he's got no special synergy with any other characters. He's good as a solo, which is why he works good in this team composition with Hawkgirl Prime and Red Lantern Hal Jordan, just to break down Astro Harness and make it easier for him to tag in and tag out.
Yeah, so there we go. The challenge cycle has been repeating for a couple years now.
180 weeks.
That's true, long time. So next week we can predict with a high degree of likelihood that it will be Suicide Squad Deadshot. Is it Suicide Squad SS Deadshot?
No. That's SS.
Just the abbreviation. Yeah. Sometimes the way that they label it is a little messed up at this time.
No, I think this is us. These are our notes.
So there we go.
So we're continuing. This is our second run of the challenge character, and hopefully this time around, when it's the week for John Stewart, Green Lantern, and Arkham Origins Bane, we won't get interrupted and miss. Those are the only two of the current of the cycle of available challenge characters that we haven't done highlighting
for sure
yet. Yeah.
This week's multiplayer reward is the time capsule, which becomes Quake engine, and when it's maxed out, it gives you a 40% chance to power steal 100% of a Special 2's cost. Specials and damage over times do 50% more damage against an enemy with less than 1 power bar. There's a Joker specific ability which increases enemy tag cooldown by 8 seconds, kind of a reverse Hawkgirl. And the evolved ability, which is after an applied damage over time finishes, there's a 100% chance to re-trigger the damage over time on the active enemy. And so we've had like just under 3 years of a consistent pattern for this, And next week's multiplayer reward should be Gingold Soda.
All right. So this is a great piece of equipment for the specialist who specializes in damage over time. Specialist who specializes. That's specialist cubed. I think I've told that joke before. It feels like it's too easy. It's right there.
Sounds right.
The extra damage on specials and damage over time for plus 50%. Excellent. Especially on the way we use it on our Flashpoint team. Aquaman starts out immediately doing a special 1, so there's a good chance of getting this boost. Retriggering damage over time on the active enemy in front of you when the first one runs out basically doubles the amount of damage over time. And we used to, I used to think that 40% chance to power steal on special 2 was just, okay, because we didn't use special 2 enough with our damage over time specialist. But now that we've played more with this on a lot of characters, specifically Arkham Knight Catwoman, who is a great damage over time specialist who uses her special 2, we're a little bit smarter. We know better now. And it's because if you use Quake Engine as the third slot in your Tentu Totem Master's Death Cart loadout, you give up on power generating gear to make sure your character has 2 bars on tag-in. So you need to do a combo to get the second bar, but you more than make, not even combo, you really just need 1 hit. But you more than make up for it by doing boosted damage against almost everybody. You do it against every opponent who has no power to start. And 40% of the time, against opponents who have power, you just drained it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be doing that boosted damage after the first hit. So Joker's specific ability with his gear to keep the enemy in for an extra 8 seconds means they have 8 seconds more to take damage over time instead of taking it and rinsing it off. And that helps with a high-level Joker like Arkham Origins Joker. It's also really good on Bounty Hunter Lobo, who locks in characters from tagging out when he's started any damage over time on them. And his damage over time extends with each specials too because of his passive, and Quake Engine doubles the time that the opponent is locked in. And you can see this in our most recent video with Bounty Hunter Lobo in the weekly recap from October 12th. Really fun, really good. So you're effectively locking them in without having to tag anybody out.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So it's as effective, I think, as Arkham Knight Catwoman's ability to prevent rinsing of damage over time. Locking the opponent in means the opponent's taking more of that sweet, sweet damage over time. And it works even when, and if you're using it as on the Joker to lock them in, it works even when he's not active in the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. Moving on to the store, we have the Suicide Squad Deadshot bundle for $24.99 Canadian. This is sort of the second piece of evidence that next week's challenge is going to be Suicide Squad Suicide Squad Deadshot. We were just talking about Joker. And that does come with the 100,000 power credit. So it's the more expensive bundle that's actually giving you more stuff. So out of sort of the different bundle configurations, it's like the normal deal you get.
Right.
We also have the Blackest Night Pack 1. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so it's $24.99 Canadian because Canadian dollars, Canadian currency is the only currency that matters. It comes with Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, and Batman. Clearly a slightly delayed celebration of Halloween. Interesting pattern, though, we talked about last time. This is another one of those packs that fits about an approximately 6-month cycle. It was last available April.
Yeah.
It's missing the Doomsday. And it's missing the best Blackest Night character. You could say arguably, I don't think there's any argument made. The best Blackest Night character is the Flash. And it's not in this pack.
So there we go. We've got a bunch of other stuff that's been around for a while.
Oh, and something, character bundle Darkseid was the second week now.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. In terms of Phantom Zone, there's 1 week left for that. Fight 62, still busted. Last weekend's breakthrough was Zod, Aquaman, and Shazam. So this coming weekend should be Catwoman, Deathstroke, and Raven, and we have a link in the description to a Reddit thread from Devlin16, the one and only, who has documented the complete breakthrough cycle for anybody else who wants to sort of track that on their own time.
Right. So as far as the current glitches go, we go into more detail every time something significant changes, which did not happen this week. However, even if nothing changes, we still do a more detailed review once a month. The first week of every month, and that is today. Yeah, for November.
Yeah. So just a reminder, our glitches playlist, which you should be able to access in the top right corner of this video on the little I button, or just, on our channel under our playlist tab, has the complete instructions for everything. But this is sort of the companion piece that has some extra tips and tricks and sort of collects broad information about glitches maybe that doesn't get expressed in any specific video. One of which is glitches that aren't working anymore, stuff that you might be looking for that you can't do. Because you can't look in our playlist of glitches that work for stuff that doesn't work.
So there's no glitch for power credits that we're willing to endorse. We talked about this in more detail in a previous episode of our Q&A, which used to be our P and Q and C and A and T, season 6, episode 9, linked in the description. The part that's worth repeating to a larger audience here, some people have been successfully exploiting glitches requiring 2 devices being logged simultaneously into one account. And the problem with that is the risk of getting your account suspended. So we only endorse and recommend glitches that we test and confirm ourselves. So this is not something, there's no alternative to that's actually working. The glitch for getting repeated multiplayer season rewards is not working. The glitch for getting it early in a way that's exploitable is not working. Although some people, I believe, are getting stuck and getting it too early before they've had a chance to rank up. And so then they lose their opportunity and they put in a bunch of work in at the end of the season. They don't get it because they already got it earlier in the season. There's no glitch to get through Phantom Zone artificially quickly, but we do have some speed runs for Phantom Zone you might want to watch.
You can get through it fast enough that it almost doesn't matter.
There's a playlist in our channel. And in a minor way, the glitch that used to let you get free energy without watching video, also not working, separate from the time shifting for free energy, which is working.
So there we go. Moving on to the working glitches. The glitch to let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly is still working. It's great we were able to test that, right now. And importantly, the challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save also working and tested on Khandaq Black Adam. But using either of those glitches, they're basically the same. I think they are the same glitch. And so doing one, resetting progress on one will reset progress on both, whether you want to or not. So it's always important to keep that in mind and only do a reset when you want to reset both. Otherwise, you'll end up undoing your own progress.
And we've got a comment from one of our viewers, cut and pasted into the description, about how to save on data so that you can just move some files around and not have to re-download it each time you reset the challenge or the Phantom Zone.
If you're running into that issue. The breakthrough glitch, let you play it repeatedly, still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working. That's good for packs with random drops and last laugh tickets. Basically anything that doesn't require an internet connection. So it doesn't work for Phantom Zone.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Remember, return your cooldown clock back to normal before you finish.
And last but not least, in between the not working and the working glitches, kind of on a technicality, there's the promotion glitch where you can promote characters that are still locked. It hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14, so it's been years. So it's not testable, and it's not usable, and it's probably never coming back, because it seems like they changed stuff around so that you can't ever use it on purpose. But, we only talk about this once a month now. Nobody can stop us from putting it in. And so technically, we don't know if it's patched or not. The fact that they sort of changed the behavior of the game makes it seem like it wasn't patched because it was working up until the last time they let you do it. And that's it. So to finish up, we'd like to give a huge thank you to our supporters on Patreon. That's Michael Devries, Irvin, Ruiz, and Hoshi127 on the credited level, and the names scrolling past that have supported us at some point during the pandemic. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks so much to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.